What's going on, everybody? I'm Zach. I'm just a simple chef, and today we're going to be making chili oil. Alright, so I'm going to go through the ingredients here. So, talk about the oil. I'm using peanut oil because I have a lot of it, and I would normally use grapeseed oil, but I'm almost out and I wanted to use this up somehow, so I'm going to go ahead and use peanut oil. I would probably use canola oil, vegetable oil, grapeseed oil, avocado oil, any kind of oil that doesn't have a strong flavor to it, the neutral oil. You can use olive oil if you must, but it's olive oil. It's very flavorful in itself, and it's used for dressings and stuff. I prefer not to use that because we're going to be adding all of this flavor, infusing it into our neutral oil. So I'm using peanut oil. You can use canola oil if you're allergic to peanuts. So we got some fish sauce, a shallot, some scallions or green onions, some ginger, some garlic, some fresh bay leaves. I also have dried bay leaves here. If you can't find fresh, dry is perfectly fine. We got red pepper flakes. We got gochugaru, which is Korean red pepper flakes. Cinnamon, cloves, coriander seeds, the black cardamon, star anise, black peppercorn, and right here, Sichuan peppercorns. You can pick this up from your local Asian market. They got a very flower smell to them. They're quite delicious, and it's pretty much the main ingredient for Sichuan cooking. I would totally get this. If you can't find it, maybe go online. You could probably get it off the internet somewhere. And then we got black vinegar here, and salt, and MSG. You don't have to use MSG, but it's very prominent in Asian cooking, and it's got a very umami flavor, and I recommend it. That's just me. I'm not afraid of a little MSG.
Alright, so here we're going to grab 4 scallions and just cut them into, I don't know, 2.5 inch length pieces. We're going to get a knob of ginger. We're going to cut off 3 slices just to kind of add that aromatic, delicious flavor from the ginger into the oil. We don't need a lot. Little goes a long way with ginger. Now we're going to just cut up shallot, and I decided to keep it together on the root so we're not fishing out a bunch of skins. Here I'm smashing up a bunch of garlic because I like garlic, so I'll do about 4 or 5. Here I'm crumbling up some bay leaves, bruising them a little bit. Now we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of Sichuan peppercorns. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of black peppercorn. We're going to add 2 black cardamon. We're going to add about 4 or 5 star anise. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds. We're going to add about 3 cloves, 1 cinnamon stick, and make sure you get a pot big enough to hold everything.
Enjoy it so far? Please hit the like button. It really helps me out. And if you're going to subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell down below so you know when I post. I appreciate you all, and thank you for watching.
Alright, so here I'm turning the burner on medium, and we're going to toast these for about a few minutes or until you can kind of taste the tastiness, and then we're going to add 3 cups of the peanut oil. So you want to make sure that there's enough liquid that everything is floating. You don't want to add like a cup and everything just be crowded. So here, garlic, shallots, green onions, ginger, bay leaves. And now we're going to bring this up to 225 to 250 degrees and try to keep it at that temperature for about an hour. Here I'm using a thermometer and I'm checking every 10-15 minutes because I don't want it to go too hot or else everything will burn and then you got to start over. Alright, so now that we got everything in the oil, we want to make sure we keep it at a specific area of temperature for as long as possible, so not to make the oil rancid or to burn any of the ingredients in the oil. So you don't want to go probably too much higher than 250 degrees. Maybe might be a little too high, but 250 degrees, you want to keep it around there. Set the temperature on the stove and make sure you have a thermometer. It's essential to keep the temperature pretty on a plane, right? Straightforward, same temperature, not too much fluctuation. Alright, so the oil is almost to temp. We want to get it to 225, 250, kind of just keep it around that area. So while we wait for it to get to that temperature, we're going to prep our slurry of ingredients that we're going to pour the oil onto. So we got some scallions here for our gyoza, just a little garnish. So here we're going to do 2 cups of gochugaru. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that, but Korean red pepper flakes. It's pretty much finely crushed red pepper without the seeds. Doesn't have too much heat. So we're going to add 1 cup of red pepper flakes, which usually has more of a hot kick to it, which I like. We're going to add a tablespoon of sesame seed, 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of sesame seed oil, and then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of black vinegar. I also forgot, we're going to add a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of MSG. Now we're going to mix everything together before we add in the hot oil, because the hot oil will bubble up and you don't want to burn yourself and try to stir it while it's boiling hot. But you want to get everything incorporated in this step. And then we're going to come back to the oil here, and you're going to see that everything's kind of like nice and golden, sort of. It's not burnt, doesn't look crazy. So this has been cooking for about an hour at about 250. So we're going to crank up the heat all the way to high for a few minutes before we pour it over the chili powder and red pepper flakes and salt and all the goodness. And that'll help everything kind of incorporate and infuse together. So just checking the temp. We're going to let it go a little longer till about 275, 300. We don't want it smoking. And here we're going to slowly and carefully pour it over the red pepper flakes. You can see it's bubbling and just overflowing with deliciousness. And I'm going to gently stir here because it's very hot oil and you will burn yourself. But just look at that color, guys. It's beautiful. It's like an amber red. I forgot to film putting in fish sauce, but I did a couple splashes of fish sauce. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Here we're going to plate up some mandu, gyoza, pot stickers, whatever you want to call them. I like to call them gyoza. And we're going to drizzle over our delicious chili oil and chili flakes and powder. And that's it, guys. Super simple, super easy, and super delicious. This thing can go on almost anything. Alright everybody, there you have it. Beautiful chili oil. So it'll get better tomorrow and the next day, but I couldn't wait. So oh my god. It's
really, it's really good.